Hello, everyone. We're going to get started with today's training. We're going to jump right into it today because I know this is an important one that women want to solve, right? And it's about cellulite. We're going to discuss the best ways to beat cellulite, what you can do, what you can't do, what you're going to have to learn to live with. But we're going to have some solutions that are going to really help get rid of that unsightly appearance. So we're going to jump right into it today. And you know, we know cellulite plagues the backsides of women all over the world. Some men actually can have cellulite, but for the most part, you don't really see it. Women's biggest fear is wearing that bikini and having that dimply appearance in their butt and on their thighs and so forth. You also don't even have to be overweight to actually have cellulite. You can actually be thin. And we've seen this with, actresses, right? They try to hide this is they are in great shape or they appear to be in great shape, but they still have cellulite. So, how do we prevent or minimize its appearance? Well, we do know that cellulite is the fat cells that are formed up towards the surface of the skin, right? And once fat cells are formed, we unfortunately cannot get rid of fat cells. We can shrink them and we can tighten and tone skin, but we fat cells once they are created in the body, they're there. So if you have 70,000 fat cells when you're born, you're still going to have 70,000 when you're 40 years old. You might have more, but you're not going to have less than 70,000. So it's just a matter of how small can we make those cells. And cellulite has sometimes it is can be triggered because of like circulation issues, right? Those fat cells tend to get poor blood flow, which then can change the fat cells themselves. Again, it gives it that appearance of like the cottage cheese or dimpled look, and the thing we want to get rid of, right? Or not me, obviously, but the thing women want to get rid of, right? Um, so the first understanding is we're always going to have those fat cells, but there are some things we can do to try to hide them. In regards to not having that dimply appearance. So, I'm not trying to get too technical with, how the fat cells are generated and whatnot, but hormones do play a role in this. So, working on optimizing our hormone function, our leptin hormones, our cortisol, and so forth, is going to be key to uh, generating a smoother looking skin, right? Insulin is also a big one. So, insulin's actually a hormone, right? And when we have um, a diet that is higher in carbohydrates or sugar, we're going to create more insulin production. If we don't use all of those um, sugar cells or sugar molecules in regards to for unit for energy and things like that, our body then stores it as fat. Now we have inflamed fat cells because we have extra glucose and sugar being stored as fat, makes these fat cells bigger. Hence, now all of a sudden we start to see cellulite show up, right? Because those fat cells are actually growing, they're getting larger. And we're getting less circulation or blood flow to them, which again is making that appearance worse. So, if you're a constant exerciser, but you tend to eat a lot of higher carbs, you may be frustrated because you're like, I'm doing all this exercise, but I'm not actually making the cellulite look any better. So, what's going on here? It could be the diet in regards to your hormones and trying to lower that insulin level, which means we have to lower the amount of carbs that we eat, processed sugars, and things like that, so that our body does not promote that fat storage with that. So, and also when you're promoting or when your insulin levels are high and you end up promoting more of that glucose and sugar as fat, it also increases water retention. This is another indicator of making cellulite look worse. So that's one solution, right? Is trying to keep our insulin levels lower so that we can smooth out that cellulite and not give it such a dimply appearance because we have better circulation, we have less water retention, and so forth, right? The other thing we can do is get off our butt. Constant physical activity, is going to help decrease insulin levels. So again, we're helping with the insulin levels by exercising. We're actually utilizing those sugars for energy rather than the body saying, well, we have all this extra sugar now, we might as well store it as fat, right? So you're burning up those carbs and fats for energy. So that's one. But you're also going to uh, tone the skin, right? Because you're going to create a little bit of lean muscle mass, right? You're not going to bulk up like a bodybuilder or anything like that. But you are going to start producing some lean muscle if you start doing lunges and squats and other lower body exercises. Well, as that muscle forms and shapes, it's actually going to flatten out or smooth out that skin. So again, your fat cells are still there. Essentially, what we're doing is spreading them out and making that end up looking smoother and more shapely so that, really you see more of the muscle than you do the dimpled fat cells with that. So that's really solution number two is do lower body exercises that are going to help shape your glutes, your quads, your hamstrings, and start in a way stretching those fat cells out a little, spreading them out, stretching that skin out a little by some new lean muscle. And that's also going to hide that. So it's really a combination, right? Like I said, we can't get rid of them, but we can do two important things to help hide that cellulite or those fat cells. Eat a lower sugar diet, right? You don't have to go no carb or anything like that, but really it's avoiding processed foods, high sugar foods that don't have a lot of nutritional value, right? You can still eat carbohydrate based foods that are higher in fiber, because again, fiber is going to help clean that body out, optimize the hormones. So again, we don't have things malfunctioning, which is now going to trigger poor circulation into those cells, poor hydration, and ends up, showing cellulite more than we want, right? So um, alcohol is another, can't say it's an issue, but it's another contributor to cellulite. So again, if you are a heavier drinker, trying to cut back on the alcohol because again, that's going to promote water retention and it's also going to promote insulin production, which means if we cannot use up that energy, the body's going to store those calories as fat, which we don't want. So give these two solutions a try. It's not the perfect world. Obviously, you may have to have a little luck on your side in regards to genetics. And if that cellulite's going to really truly disappear. But a lot of times when we are doing one but not the other, so we're eating a healthy, low calorie or low carbohydrate diet, but we're not doing anything exercise wise, it means the muscles are kind of getting soft and flabby. We can still have cellulite. Same goes for if we're exercising our butt off, but we're still eating processed foods. We're still eating higher sugar foods, things that don't have a lot of nutritional value. And we're frustrated because we cannot get the cellulite to disappear. Well, we're kind of feeding into, yes, we're shaping that muscle, we're creating new muscle, we're stretching those fat cells out, but we're also making them larger because of the foods that we're eating. So do those two things and see if you don't start seeing a difference in cellulite and hiding it a little. But unfortunately, we cannot truly get rid of it because once we have fat cells in the body, they're there for life, but we can shrink them. Proper diet is going to help shrink those, as well as a proper exercise is going to help spread those out and hide those. So if you guys have any questions about this, feel free to let me know. I'd be happy to answer any questions. If you need help creating what does that meal plan look like so that you can ideally not store excess calories, excess carbs as fat, I'd be more than happy to help make up a meal plan for you that's going to, get rid of the cellulite, so to speak, right? In theory. So we can call it the cellulite reduction meal plan or whatever. But, there are things we can do to hide that and allow you to feel more confident when you're in a bikini or when you're in shorts because that cellulite is hidden away and your legs look shapely and firm and you don't have any self-consciousness around what your legs look like. So again, if you like this training, feel free to share it with others because I'm sure you have friends or family that also struggle with cellulite. So you're more than welcome to share this training with them. And again, if they have any questions, they can reach out to me. So enjoy the rest of your day.